Day after the invasion of unknown androids and disappearance of Red Tornado and the veteran heroes were repairing the base while others tend to the Young Justice team, who were still shaken up after the event. Wally sighed to himself as soon as Green Arrow placed a bowl of pretzels in front of him. Thanks, but no, thank. Yeah, what we want are answers about Red Tornado and his siblings. Robin frowned. Exactly. The young speedster glared at the bowman and Green Arrow picked the bowl up, only to have it snatched by Wally. Leave the bowl. He tossed a handful into his mouth. I thought you. Naruto looked at the speedster confusingly. Don't want it. Slush, you. Wally ate more. You have no idea what we went through yesterday. I almost died. You knew? Connor suddenly grabbed Calder by his collar as Batman quickly took a step back, catching everyone's attention. That android and his maniac family nearly killed Ngon. Connor, what are you doing? Megan flew toward them. Calder knew we had a traitor among us and said nothing. Superboy growled angrily. You knew? Robin stood up with his teammates. And didn't tell us? Wally frowned. I sought to protect the team from. Calder attempted to explain but Artemis cut him off. Protect us from what? She placed fists on her hip with a deep frown. Knowledge that might have saved our lives? You almost died. Connor looked at Megan over his shoulder. Enough. Batman spoke sternly with a glare, causing Connor to release Calder as everyone turned their attention to him. With Red Tornado missing, the team will now be overseen by rotating supervisors. He turned his head to Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel has volunteered to take the first shift. I'm really looking forward to hanging with you guys. Captain Marvel grinned widely and the young heroes traded looks with each other. After I dismantle Red Tornado, you and I are gonna. Connor threatens Calder with a whisper before Batman approaches them. Red Tornado is a member of the Justice League. The Dark Knight narrowed his eyes. That makes him a League responsibility. You will leave him to us. He gestured at newspaper hologram as it popped up. I have another assignment for this team. Gotham Mayor attacked by Gorilla? Wally read the headline out loud before Robin turned to Batman. Batman, please. The boy wonder groaned. Tell me you're not sending us on this joke of a Wall-ape chase. I never joke about the mission. Batman replied seriously. I've checked the sources. I've studied the patterns. Mayor Hill's encounter is only the latest in a series of incidents. He looked at Calder. Aqualad, you and your team will depart for India and check this out. Naruto watched the team walked past Calder angrily before Batman come up to him. Naruto, suit up and go with them. Huh? Naruto blinked at him owlishly. I'm going with them on this mission? The Dark Knight just leave without any reply and the young clone scratched his head nervously. If that's the case then it's his first mission with the team. Why does he have a weird feeling that things will go awry since the team are having some problem? You're coming with us? Robin asked Captain Marvel as the Young Justice boarded up in Megan's spaceship before he noticed Naruto walking up to them in his rookie outfit and the adult nodded him. Sure. Captain Marvel smiled beamingly. We'll have a blast. He patted Naruto's shoulder. Right, rookie? Naruto glanced between them. He don't know what to say in this situation as the adult lead him into the spaceship. Translation. He blames us for Red Fiasco. Robin muttered to Wally bitterly. Doesn't trust us. They looked at Calder before walk inside Bioship. It's a big club. Wally replied. The Bioship fly over the jungle within India at night and it land down as Robin and Artemis drop down to the ground, scanning their surrounding before the ship touched down. Then the Young Justice step out with one veteran hero. All clear. Robin said. Switch to stealth and we'll review mission parameters. Aqualad ordered his team as his uniform darkened. Parameters? Kid Flash pressed his symbol to change his uniform's color scheme. We don't need no stinkin' parameters. It's recon. The boy wonder glared. We know what to do. He walked off with Kid Flash. Kid, Robin. Calder called out to them. The three of us started this team because the Justice League was keeping secrets from us. Robin scowled at Aqualad before Kid Flash finished his sentence. Or did you forget that like you forget to tell us about the mole? The speedster put his goggle on before running off with Robin. Come on. Superboy took hold of Miss Martian's arm. I'll keep you safe. Megan yanked her arm away from him with a glare before she crossed her arms angrily, speaking to him through telepathy. I just want to protect you, he said before Artemis stormed up to him. Like Aqualad protected us? The scowling Arrowette poked him with her bow. I'm not sure if your protection or your patronizing is good for our health. The girls walked off in other direction before Superboy shifted his eyes to Aqualad. Why didn't you stop them? Superboy growled. You're supposed to be in charge. I am. Kaldar attempted to say something but Superboy turned away from him. Come on, Naruto. Connor grabbed his fellow clone, wrapping his arm around his waist. Let's go. Wah. Rookie looked at his older brother confusingly before Superboy suddenly leaped away from Aqualad and Captain Marvel with Rookie in tow. Did I miss the part where you actually said what the plan was? Captain Marvel looked down to Aqualad and his response was just a deep sigh. Naruto feels so awkward as he listened to his big brother's complaints for a while. The clone of Superman stomped ahead of him with another huff. Why don't Megan understand that I want to protect her? Connor threw his hands up. Isn't that a normal thing to do as a boyfriend? He sharply spun around to his young brother. Or am I wrong? Naruto stared at him bewilderingly. I don't know. Superboy turned away from him, throwing his hands up again. Naruto was about to say something, but a giant rhino suddenly charged toward him and it tackled him away from the older clone. Superboy was about to help him, but several giant wolves pounced on him and they didn't know that they were watched by an albino wolf above them. Rookie quickly evaded another ram as he rolled to his feet and he took a good look at the rhino. Somehow it appeared to be mutated. There were a few exposed muscles around its body, 2 yellow eyes, and its horn was 2 times larger than an average rhino's horn, but what stand out most to him is an odd collar around its neck. The rhino give out a bellow as it charged at him and Rookie jump at right side, quickly drawing his expanding staff. The blonde clone wait until the charging creature get closer before he used the staff as in vault, landing on Rhino's back, and he hold on for his life as the rhino bucks slightly, ramming into trees and boulders as an attempt to dislodge the young clone off its back. Rookie quickly glanced at Superboy out of the corner of his eyes. The said boy was wrestling with a white wolf. The black-cladded hero nearly fall off when the rhino plow through few trees, but he managed to keep his grip and he need to come up with some plan before he end up becoming a pancake. He spot a rocky cliff and the young clone forced the rhino to charge toward the wall by pulling its head. He quickly dove off as soon as it rammed into the wall loudly. Oh, come on. Naruto muttered to himself as the creature turned to him, shaking the chunks of rock off its head. I wasn't trained for that. Once again, he jumps on the charging creature's back and the rodeo resumed as the blonde tried to come up with different plan. It went on for a while until he feel a familiar tickle in his mind before he hear his teammates' voices, but his focus was on the rhino. One mistake and he'll slip under the wild rhino's hooves. He gets some bit of conversation. Captain Marvel have been caught and that he's in charge whether they like it or not. Rookie's hands tightened around the collar before he blinked at it. It was only one thing that kept catching his eyes and it was kinda out of place. What if? Rookie quickly jammed his staff under the collar before he pulled the end of staff down, forcing it to rip the collar off, and just like that, the rhino halt its rampage. He carefully slides off the creature's back and the rhino walk off into the wild before he turned to see his brother still taking the wolf on. Superboy, the collar. Get it? Superboy grunted out, quickly yanking the collar off the wolf's neck, and the giant white wolf halt its attacks as it looked at the older clone before it rub up against him. Guess I get another new friend. They receive a quick message from Megan, a location. Come on. Superboy races off into the forest with the wolf and Rookie in tow. They stand in front of a wall of a hidden base and Superboy hear Aqualad's voice in his head before he break through the wall with one punch. Rookie stares at an odd sight, a brain in a machine and a giant gorilla with gating gun before the wolf tackle the roaring gorilla. Kid Flash follow it up with a kick to the creature's face, quickly evade the bullets, then Robin deliver a double kick to the creature's face before Miss Martian fling him up and smashing him down on floor. The gorilla turn around, only to get hit by a staff, courtesy of Rookie, and the creature attempt to attack him, but Superboy attempt to attack him with a hammer fist. The gorilla avoid it by jumping backward, shooting his weapon at Superboy, and it knock him back down on his back. The creature's back suddenly explode before he look over his shoulder to see Artemis, and she rain explosive arrow at him with Robin's assist. On other side, Aqualad was taking Brain on before the villain realizes he was surrounded by the young Justice as Aqualad quickly freed Captain Marvel from restriction on table. Thanks. Marvel grinned as he quickly break the collar from a tiger. Now, one good turn deserves another. Try it. Superboy cracked his knuckles after the gorilla roared savagely, I hate monkeys. No, Mala, this will not be our Waterloo. Brain spoke to the gorilla as its body opened up to bring out many weapons while the team watch on. Au revoir, Mess Amos. Get down. Kid Flash warned his team as everyone tensed up right before the light went out, and when it comes back on, the villain and his partner were gone. Wait, that big weapon thing was, he muttered puzzlingly, a light switch? Several members trades looks with each other. What are you grinning about? Artemis asked Kid Flash as the team returned to Bioship. One word. Kid Flash put a red beret on his head. Souvenir. 2 words. The Arrowette walked faster. Gorilla lice. Huh? The speedster quickly removes the beret. Oh, man. That's the last of the collars? Captain Marvel petted the tiger as soon as Aqualad removed the last collar, and the creature growl affirmation. And I can count on you to keep the other animals out of trouble? Another growl. Good. I'll be back for a visit, I promise. He watches on with a grin as the tiger run off. I think I'll call him Mr. Tawny. The rest of the pack is gone. Superboy scratched the wolf's chest. What are you still doing here? I think he wants to stay with you. Megan smiled. Can I keep him? Connor asked. First the sphere, now this beast? Wally laughed. Dude, you sure make a habit of collecting strays. Maybe because he's such a stray himself. The Martian looked at her secret boyfriend fondly, sharing a telepathic link with him. Well, he's gonna need a name. Kid Flash glanced at the wolf. How's about Crypto? Pass, Connor chuckled as the wolf growled. Besides, isn't that taken? Megan replied. So what do you think of your first mission? Artemis asked Naruto. I don't do. Naruto turned his head to her. Much, beside taking this rhino on. Well, yeah. The arrowhead rubbed her neck. It wasn't supposed to go down like that. She patted his shoulder. But don't worry, there's always next mission and you might do a lot of work, who know? Yeah. The blonde muttered quietly. Look, I need to know. Robin said to Aqualad, why did you keep the mole intel a secret? Aqualad glanced at his teammates. The source of the tip was Sportsmaster. What? Artemis replied, you can't trust him. I do not. Calder said, it seemed possible, even likely that he was attempting to divide the team with false information. And given how this mission went, he nearly succeeded. Robin frowned, but you had to consider it might be true. Yes. Aqualad nodded, as leader, I did. In which case, I did not wish to alert the traitor. Hate to say it, but, the boy wonder looked down with a sigh, makes sense. I am still prepared to step down. Calder said, all in favor of keeping Aqualad as leader? Wally raised his hand up and everyone raised their hands right away. Guess it's unanimous. Captain Marvel patted Calder's shoulder as he gave him a handshake before he walked away from the group. See you tomorrow. You're not coming back with us? Aqualad asked. Nope, gotta fly. Captain Marvel took off into the sky and the team step into the ship before it takes off in different direction. Naruto walked with Connor and Megan early in morning. It had been a week after his first mission with Young Justice. Do you have cheerleading practice after school today? Connor asked Megan. No, why? Megan smirked at him, thinking about taking me out on a date? Yes, is that okay with you? Connor shrugged his shoulders. It has been a while since we had a date. The Martian kissed her boyfriend on lips and the sight made Naruto feel so awkward. Thankful, it was short-lived when they heard a familiar voice behind them. Morning, guys. They looked back to see Wendy with a smile. Hello, Wendy. Megan smiled back. I don't expect to see you before school. The Ravenette nodded. She also doesn't expect to run into them before school. Hey. Connor grunted. GG good morning. Naruto greeted shyly as his head dipped slightly. He don't know why he feel nervous or why his heart just speed up as soon as he saw her. He didn't notice an inaudible gasp from Megan. Hey, Naruto. Wendy messed the blonde's hair playfully. Your bro walking you to your school? Not this time. The older brother shook his head lightly. I have a test in first period so I have to study a bit beforehand. Oh, what subject? The Ravenette asked curiously. Math. Connor grimaced before he glances at his young brother. You can go ahead if you want to. Nah, I'll walk. A bit. Naruto shook his head at him. His eyes flicked to Wendy unnoticeable. Alright. The older clone shrugged his shoulders as they kept walking. The girls chat a bit about a TV show while the boys half listen or trying to figure something out in Naruto's case. After biting the group a bye wave, Naruto walked toward his school and he spot a parent dropping their child off as they laugh about something. His eyes shift to a group of friends chatting together and an uncomfortable frown form on his lip. Naruto never make any friends since he started school and he kept things to himself because he don't know how to interact with students and he also feel out of place, due to his struggle with his identity. A warning bell ring out and Naruto glance around as the students enter the school before he make a rushed decision. He ditches school. Naruto end up wandering aimlessly in the town, having no foggiest idea what to do at the moment and there were not a lot of people out. He don't know how long it have been since he cut school and he snap out of his thoughts as he come across something strange. Standing in front of him was a young girl, a year younger than him, and she has a black bob cut with an ace hairclip, black lipstick and black beady eyes. She wear a white and black leotard with an ace symbol near her right shoulder. A pair of purple boots and her attire make her stand out. The girl was staring at something through the window and Naruto peeked at the place. It was an arcade. Are you thinking? Naruto opened his mouth without thinking at first, about going in? The girl's eyes flicked to him then back to the arcade. No money. Her voice was very quiet and low. It's as if she hasn't spoken for a long time. I do, he said. I can pay, if you want to. He usually receives his allowance from Justice League, like Connor and Megan, and he saved them up because he don't know what to use them for, beside foods and supplies. What do you want? The girl asked suspiciously, her eyes narrowed at him deadly. Nothing. Naruto shook his head. Just, you kinda look lonely. The girl turned her body fully to him with a stern staring. I want to do something for you. Oh. She turned her head back to the window for a moment then she looked back to him with a small nod. Okay, you can pay. She walked into the arcade and the blonde follow her in as he fished some dollars out of his pocket. I'm Naruto. The blonde boy insert dollar into the token machine. What's your name? Ace. The girl muttered quietly. My name's Ace. What do you Naruto glanced at the games. Wanna play? I don't know. Ace replied, it's my first time. Me too, he said before he pointed a dance machine. What about this one? The girl took a glance at the machine before she gives him another small nod and they start to step on the pads, matching some moves on the screen. They would play 3 more rounds before switching to different games. Why do you dress like that? Naruto asked Ace as they eat pizza at the table in the arcade's cafeteria. He have tried to ask some questions about her and she would just clam up at some certain questions with a scowl, like when he asked her where she come from. It's all I have, Ace muttered, taking a bite out of her pizza. Is it for, he paused for a bit, Halloween or something? There were some stores that selling Halloween things and he still can't figure out why they were selling it so early since October is just 3 weeks away. Something, she said bitterly, and he decides to back off for now. They eat few more slices until the pizza were gone and he was about to ask her if she want to play another game, but he noticed her staring at something and he followed the direction of her gaze to a claw machine. Wanna play? Naruto pointed at the machine. No. Ace shook her head slightly. I was looking at this thing. She pointed at a unique light brown teddy bear. It was just a head, with buttons for eyes, attached to small blanket. You want it? He glanced at her. No, I don't, she muttered after a prolong of silence. It's stupid. Naruto stared at her before he walked up to the machine. Alright, I'll get it, for you. He insert 2 coins, then playing the game as Ace walked up to his side. I said I don't want it. Ace muttered half-heartedly. Why are you getting it for me? Because. The claw grabbed the bear before it carry over to the opening case, dropping it, and then the young boy take it out and he handed over to her. We're friend. Friend? Ace's head jerked slightly as she took the bear from him. We're friend, aren't we? Naruto smiled nervously, somewhat hopeful. Yeah, we are. Ace rubbed her thumbs over the bear's face before she bit her lip. I never have a friend before. You do now. He rubbed his head and the girl glanced at him again before they resume wandering around in the arcade, then leaves the place. I better go, Naruto said to Ace as soon as he spots the town clock. It was an hour after the end of school. You're going now? Ace dipped her head lowly to hide her frown from him. Why? Well. He scratched the back of his head. I have to do some projects. Will you come again tomorrow? She asked quietly as her arms tightened on her teddy bear against her chest. Yes, right here? Naruto gestured at the park with a nod. At 10? Ace looked up to him and the blonde paused. He have school tomorrow. Yes, 10 a.m. He can skip it again. See you tomorrow. He waved to her before he walks away from her. See you tomorrow, Ace whispered. One odd thing about her is that she never met his eyes even once, and Naruto didn't notice it the whole time. Hey, Naruto. Robin raised his hand to the said person with a tiny smirk as he enters the living room. Where have you been? School. Naruto shrugged his shoulders. Really? The boy wonder crossed his arms. His smirk widened. Really? The young clone shifted his balance, feeling nervous in his stomach. I was at school. Your school called and everyone knows. Robin chuckled as the blonde boy gulped. You are so busted. I gotta go. Naruto take a step back, only to have his back bump into something, and he slowly looked behind to see Dinah and young members. Go where? Dinah asked with crossed arms. And nowhere? He replied lamely. You better have a good reason for skipping school. The trainer frowned at him sternly as the boy remained quiet. Well, just feel like it. Naruto whispered lowly, but she heard it. You decide to play hooky because you feel like it? Dinah hissed. Really? Really? Something about her tone seems to upset him for some reason. Yes, really. He frowned slightly. Why do you care? It's not your business. You. The blonde woman pinched the bridge of her nose with another hiss. You can't skip it because that is your education. Do you have any idea how it'll affect your record? Or how much you have make some people worried? She looked at him with hands on her hip. You're grounded. Your training will be doubled and no allowance for 1 week. Ouch, that'll gotta hurt. Wally joked, only to receive an elbow to stomach from Artemis as she give him a small glare. You can't ground me. Naruto shoot her a dagger. I can and I just did. Dinah replied sternly. Well, you can't. The blonde boy threw his hands up. You're just an trainer, not my parent. Dinah draw a sharp inhale before Connor step up as he narrow his eyes at his brother. Naruto, she might not be your mother, but I am your brother. The blonde clone turned to him. Like she said, you're grounded. The super clone stopped his brother as soon as he attempts to open his mouth. Go to your room and cool off. The blonde clone attempt to say something again, but Connor's eyes narrowed deeply. Ugh. Naruto stormed off to his room. So I guess no team exercise today? Wally whispered to Artemis and she didn't give him a response. A knock draw Naruto's attention as Megan floats into his room with a plate in her hand and she placed it on his desk. Here's your dinner, it's salmon and baked potato. Megan looked at Naruto as he turns away from her on his bed before she sits down on the edge of his bed. I know you're mad right now, but you did something wrong and they have right to punish you. He just grunted at her. Don't like it? Too bad. Just deal with it for now. She looked at him again. Do you want to talk about it? No. Naruto muttered. Okay then. Megan stood up. I'll come back to get the plate later. She walks to the doorway before she stops to glance over her shoulder. To you, Dinah may be just a trainer, but she does care about you, you know that, right? With that, she leaves his room and the blonde boy lies there for a moment before he gets up to eat his dinner. Oliver walks into the control room of Watchtower and he noticed Dinah as she sit at a table, rubbing her temples with a quiet mutter. What's eating you? He takes a seat next to her. Naruto. Dinah placed her arms on table with a sigh. We have another fight. Ah. Oliver hummed. About what? He plays hooky today because he feels like it. She used air quote, so I grounded him and he didn't take it well. He said I can't do that because I'm a trainer, not his parent. She groaned out. I don't know where that comes from. Oliver scoot back a little as she start to vent out angrily for a while. Do we have any idea how important it is for him to have education or his record? He can't just go and skip school for no reason, beside just feeling like it. If I remember right, we both ditched school few times before when we were his age. Green Arrow said before he quickly coughed into his fist as Dinah gave him a glare. Do you think he's in his rebellion phase? What do you mean? Dinah raised her eyebrow. Didn't you tell me that he just hit his puberty? Oliver said as she gave him a nod. Normally, teenagers at his age would start to rebelling against authority figures, usually their parent. Wait, are you saying he? The blonde woman looked to her boyfriend. Me? You have been around with them most of time and he must see you as his mother figure in his mind, even if he doesn't know it. Oliver shrugged his shoulders. That's gotta be crazy thing you ever say in your life. Dinah shook her head with her hand on forehead. Crazier than this time I dared Hawkeye, aka Purple Arrow the cheap knockoff, to have a chicken fight with our bows because he was ripping me off? Oliver smirked. Aren't you the one who copied him in first place? She looked up with a raised eyebrow. Hey, in my defense, I was stuck on island for years. Green Arrow held his hands up. How the hell should I know if there was another bowman with trick arrows running around? Dinah rolled her eyes at him as she think more on Naruto's situation. The next day, Connor escorts his brother to his school and he glanced at the blonde boy. He was still quiet since yesterday or just grunt annoyingly when he tell him to come home straight from school. Now I know how some people feel. Connor sighed mentally. Why can't Cadmus make Naruto older so he doesn't have to deal with these problems? Naruto, on other hand, have to come up with something to escape from his brother because he promised Ace that he'll show up today and it would take about 2 hours to reach the town square on foot, which mean he have to leave right now. He glance at the road and he see a rigged truck heading their way as he remembers some tricks that Johnny taught him. Is that Megan over there, making out with someone? Naruto pointed at something behind Connor. What? Connor quickly spun around with widened eyes, only to stare at group of young confusing teenagers stare back with blinks as they walk past him. Nah. He turned back to his brother, only to glare at empty air and he quickly look around until he see him running to other side of the road. He was about to chase him but the rigged truck drive past him with a blaring horn and as it went by, his brother vanish. Damn it, Naruto. Connor got across the road, looking for his brother. Ace loiter at the square as the bystanders avoid her and her beady eyes scan each faces that appear in her range of view. A quiet, yet loud, tick can be heard from the town clock. Only few minutes until 10 and she pounce on the thought of Naruto. What if he's same like everybody who always tries to trick her for their personal agenda? What if he tricks her and won't show up today? What if he decide to be cruel to her if he find out her secret? What if, Ace? She snapped out of her thoughts as Naruto ran up to her, grabbing her hand before he dragged her with him. Run, Naruto. Ace looked over her shoulder to see a black-haired teenager chasing them with a scowl. What's going on? She asked him as she started to run with him. Who's that? My brother. Naruto replied over his shoulder as they quickly turn around the corner then duck between alleyway and Connor just run past it. His tunnel vision prevent him from noticing the same alley. After a while, Naruto peek out before he looks back to her. I think we're good. Sorry about that. Why was he chasing you? Ace asked. The blonde boy scratched his head sheepishly. Because I ditched school, today and yesterday. He escorted me today, but I run away. Oh. They walked out into nearby park. Were you supposed to go to school today? Yeah. Naruto nodded as he glanced at her. But I want to keep my promise. I come for you, because you're my friend. I care about my friends. You come for me? Ace muttered. Really? Yes, really. He nodded again. I want to spend whole day with my friend today. I'll go to school tomorrow. The blonde boy looked at her. What do you want to do right now? The ravenette cast her gaze to a swinging set. I want to swing. Okay, I'll push. Naruto said as Ace sit on a swing and he start to push her while doing his best to getting knows his new friend more as he told her a bit about himself, besides some certain secrets. He know he'll get in trouble again when he get home but he don't regret it at all. For once in her short life, Ace feels like a normal girl instead of a human experiment of Cadmus. Again? Dinah crossed her arms as Naruto stand in front of her. I can't believe you did it again. Because of your action today, the principal want to have a meeting between her and your parent to give you your punishment officially. Whatever. Naruto looked away with a scoff. Who'll gonna show up as my parent? No one. I am going. The frowning blonde woman said as the young clone looked at her with most of his teammates. We are going to meet her in an hour. You? The blonde boy frowned. You're my TR. Yes, me. Dinah cut him off. From now onward, I am officially your and Connor's foster mother. What? Naruto cried out with Connor at same time. I talked to Batman and he agreed. You need someone to look after you too, she said with fists on her hip. It's temporary until we find you a home, but until then, I am your mother and if you don't like it, suck it up. She looked away from shocked blonde boy to equally shocked super clone. We also are going to meet your principal after his about you skipping school today. Wait, what? Connor clears the webcob out of his head. I missed school because Naruto. You should have called. Dinah hauled him with a stern glare. Get ready and come with me right now. Thank, Naruto. The scowling super clone punched Naruto's shoulder with a glare before Naruto punched him back, then he punched back and they start to fight with each other. I said right now. The blonde woman suddenly grabbed their ears, dragging the crying clones with her as they plead with her to release them while the bewildered team watches on. Hello, blackmail, Robin chortled to himself. In a dim-lit kitchen of an apartment, a man was sitting at the table as he read through a file over and over before his eyes shift to a picture of Naruto. It has been almost 2.5 months after he discovered that he have a clone and he still can't wrap his mind around it, not to mention his mother's and metamutant status. Batman have secretly keep him update on Naruto's life and he were told that he have been acting out a bit lately like skipping school 2 days in row. He needs a stable lifestyle and a childhood. He thought, it doesn't sit well with him knowing that they are training him to be a protector without giving him a chance to make a decision or sending him out on a black ops mission, even if he's his clone. A clone who want to know his parent. He already has made a decision that will affect everything but he knows it's the right thing to do. He give out a heavy sigh. Why does his life have to get complicated? I hope I won't regret it. He muttered to himself. 1.5 weeks went by as Naruto watched Calder and Robin, trading blows, with Captain Marvel and Zatara before the leader and second-in-commander noticed Connor and Megan as they walked together happily with Wolf following them. You know they're a couple, right? Robin whispered to Calder as Naruto walked up to them. I believe I know before they did. Calder chuckled lightly. I've seen them make out. Naruto muttered with a headshake. More than once. I'll tell them, get a room. You don't want them to be in a room alone. Robin chortled. Why? The blonde boy asked innocently. I mean. The boy wonder coughed roughly as the tan teenager laughed at his reaction, but he was thankfully saved by sound of footsteps behind them and they looked back to see Wally with Artemis. Do we tell them? It is not our place. Calder shook his head. So if Zatara is our babysitter of the week, why is he still here? Wally pointed at Captain Marvel with a raised eyebrow. And why is he eating my snacks? No one give him answer as a mechanical voice speaks through the secret base. Recognize Batman. Oh 2. Computer, national news. Batman strolls in with clenched fists and a screen hologram pop up in middle of the area. The initial attack was short-lived but Metropolis was only granted a short reprieve. A female reporter said as a footage of giant plant destroy a building with its vines before Superman fly in to save some bystanders with assist from Justice League members. And despite the intervention of Superman and Justice League, there seems to be no end in sight. Should we get out there? Robin asked his mentor. No. Batman replied, the League will soon have the situation under control. That's not why I'm here. An image of Sportsmaster appeared on a screen. According to your intel, Sportsmaster supplied Cadmus blockbuster formula to Cobra, who combined it with Bane's venom to create Cobra Venom. Wally added, which the Brain used to create his animal army. Robin frowned. And upgrade Wolf. Connor scratched Wolf's jaw. The Brain also used inhibitor collars like the ones at Belle Rev Penitentiary. Megan narrowed her eyes at the screen. Batman, is it possible that plant thingies on Cobra Venom too? Artemis asked. I had Green Lantern run a spot analysis. The Dark Knight answered as he pulled a keyboard hologram up with a wave of his arm. Divine Cellulose does contain trace amounts of a Cobra Venom variant. These cannot be coincidences. Calder glanced at the Dark Knight. Unrelated criminals are cooperating with one another worldwide. Exactly. Batman nodded slightly. It's now clear our enemies have formed some kind of secret society of supervillains. The attack on Metropolis is only the beginning. You got that right. Robin muttered as he typed on hologram computer. Plant creatures have sprouted in Gotham City, Paris, Hell's Kitchen, Baxter Building, Star City, Taipei. The monitor suddenly went on static. Dude. Wally looked at Robin. It's not me. The boy wonder kept typing away. Someone's cutting into the satellite signal. All satellite signals. A face of Joker appeared on the screen with a manic grin and he knocked on a glass. Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt your regularly scheduled mayhem to bring you this important announcement. Joker flicks his switchblade out before he pushed the camera to reveal a team of villains, from the Injustice League. We are responsible for the attacks on your cities. Count Vertigo smirked. If you wish to save them, a ransom of 10 billion American dollars is required. Delivery instructions have been sent to the United Nations. There is no time limit. His smirk became crueler, but the longer your governments wait, the more we get to have our. Joker turned the camera back to him with laughter. Jollies. The monitor once again went static. Roger that, Aquaman. Batman spoke into his earpiece before he turned to Young Justice. The UN will prepare the ransom as a fallback, but it won't come to that. Robin played back the recording of Injustice League before he identified them. Count Vertigo, the Joker, Poison Ivy, Ultra Humanite, Atomic Skull, Black Adam, Votan. 7 heavy hitters. Probably behind nearly everything and everyone we've faced. There's your secret society, Wally said. Not so secret anymore, Artemis muttered. Perhaps after India, they realized we would deduce the truth and saw no point in hiding any longer. Calder hummed. Yeah. The speedster grinned. That was their mistake. He punched his right palm. Right now I say we go kick some plant creature butt. The Justice League will handle the plants. Batman said, I have a different job for this team. Oh, man. Wally groaned before Artemis punched his upper arm. With the plants attacking so many locations simultaneously, there must be a central control system. The Dark Knight explained, your mission is to destroy it. You realize what you're really asking them to do. Zatara approached Batman with a stern stare. They're ready, Batman said. Ready? The speedster held his hands up confusingly. Ready for what? Artemis hit his arm again but harder this time. Ow. Will you cut that? Hello, Wally. Artemis gestured at the monitor with a huff. If the big guns are fighting plants, who do you think will be fighting? I don't know. Wally muttered as the arrowette resist to facepalm. I guess we'll. The blonde girl jabbed her index finger at the monitor and he looked at picture of Injustice League before a gasp escaped his lip. Ooh. Well, Batman, I trust you're correct. Zatara sighed. I trust you can locate the enemy. Batman emphasized on your word. Indeed. The magician replied, Votan's involvement suggests sorcery is part of how the plants are controlled. Robin, if you would provide the hollow map. Robin pulled the map of world up. I'll search for signs of concentrated sorceress activity. Zatara raised his hands up to the map. Adakal Reetnesipi Foikros. A red dot appears. That is where you will find the Injustice League's central control system. Coordinates locked in. Robin typed the information in. The Louisiana Bayou. We are on our way. Calder said before his team rushed off. They didn't notice that Captain Marvel was trying to come with them, only to stop by Batman because of a plan. So we're gonna take a bunch of experienced villains on. Naruto said as the bioship fly over the swamp. One happens to be a homicidal sadistic psycho. Yes. Calder confirmed without batting an eyelash. Is that a good idea? The blonde boy muttered. They should send a veteran with us, in case if. Relax. Robin examined his tools. We have faced some worse than them and we'll take them down like always. Sure, it'll a bit tough but still. I still think it's. Naruto shook his head with a sigh. Bad idea. What's in the duffel? Wally asked Calder, jabbing his thumb at the said bag under the tan teenager's seat. Plan B. Calder replied before they hear a groan from Megan. You alright? Connor asked with some concern. Dizzy, Megan said dazedly. Martians get airsick? Robin raised his eyebrow over his shoulder. She does look a bit greener than usual. The speedster inputted. Not me, her. The Martian closed her eyes. I feel fine, Artemis said confusingly. Not her, the bioship. Megan checked the status of her ship. She's trying to shield us, but the ship suddenly fly erratically before it dropped its cloaking and there was a jolt below them. Everything spin around until the bioship crash into the water body with few skips. The young members recover right away with groans before their balance was thrown off once again by Vine's creatures as they drag the ship underwater. Suddenly, Black Adam tears a hole into the ship and Megan grabbed her head with a painful wince. He's hurting her. Connor quickly takes action by deliver a flying uppercut, knock the villain off the ship into the sky and before they know it, the water flood in. No, Artemis shouted annoyingly. No way, I'm nearly drowning 3 missions in a row. She put breather in her mouth and she holds the second breather out to Kid Flash. Wow. Kid Flash corked his eyebrow at her oddly before he take it. Thanks, I'm gone, we need to get out. Connor places his hand on his secret girlfriend's arm. Open a hatch. Hello, Megan. The Martian smacked her forehead. Of course. She dived in to open a hatch and everyone quickly swim out, following Aqualad for a while until they resurface at the shore. You alright, dude? Kid Flash asked Naruto as the young clone lifted his mask over mouth to take few deep breaths. Fine, built-in breather. Rookie replied. Leave it to Batman to come up with everything for your suit. The speedster shake his head with a light chuckle before everyone suddenly fall down from a blast and he look up to see a familiar face. Vertigo. Count Vertigo to you, peasant. Count Vertigo increased the blast and Superboy attempt to take him down, only to get tackled down by Black Adam. Aqualad quickly summoned a water whip from the lake and it washed Vertigo away into the woods. He quickly ordered Robin and Miss Martian to disappear before Black Adam throw a sucker punch to him, taking him out and Wolf lunge at the villain with a roar. He quickly chucked the creature at Kid Flash and Artemis, sweeping them off their feet and the villain duck under Rookie's round kick, throwing a backhand that launched the young clone through a weak tree. Black Adam easily take the rest of the team out and he start to rounding them up as Vertigo stumble back with wet clothes. The count did a head count, 2 are missing. By the time they come around, the team find themselves in a yellow cage as the villains carry them through the sky. They awaken. Vertigo glanced at the teenagers. You're certain this will hold them? The cage is impenetrable. Votan reassured him with a smirk. Even the Superboy has no chance of escaping. You are not the only one trained in the mystic arts, Votan. Aqualad grabbed the bars with a glare before he channeled his energies through his tattoos, but it was in vain. Please, Atlantean. Votan mocked with the evil chortle. Do not pretend you're in my league. It wasn't long enough until they see the villain's base with a giant plant growing out in the middle and Votan never know what hit him as the bio ship suddenly hit him from behind, sending him tumble into the moat and the team break free as soon as the cage vanish in thin air. The team land in deep mud and Superboy look up to see Ultra Humanite with laser weapon. I hate monkeys. Superboy charge at the white gorilla with Wolf. Rookie was about to help his fellow clone out, but a bunch of vines sprout out and he quickly evade them with backpedaling steps and sidesteps before he look up to see Poison Ivy. Ah! Artemis' hands grab nothing but empty air behind her back as Aqualad and Rookie can't find their weapons. I feel naked. Their weapons have been removed by the villains early, and not in a fun way. They quickly dodge another vine. We will make our own fun as we have been trained. Aqualad quickly turned to her with clasped hands. Maneuver 7. Artemis hop onto his hands and the Atlantean boost her up in air over the plant creatures before the arrowette deliver a flying kick to Poison Ivy's face. Rookie, back her up. Aqualad launched the young clone up in air to join Artemis. Poison Ivy sent a wave of living vines at the teenagers, which they dodge before Artemis throw a haymaker while Rookie perform a sweep kick and the villainess barely avoid their attacks. She was about to attack them but she sensed something wrong and she spin around to the giant plant with widened eyes. My baby. As soon as she cry out, the plant explode violently, courtesy of Robin's explosive birdarangs, and it die out with a drying screech. Ivy lash her plants out everywhere with an outraged scream and one of the plant narrowly spear through Rookie's head but he tilt his head back as it rip his mask off, leaving a small cut on his cheek. Again, this cheek. Rookie wipe his blood off annoyingly. It was the same cheek that got cut during Blockbuster's rampage. The vine kept lashing out until Miss Martian blast them away with her telekinesis before Atomic Skull blast her away with Robin as Joker laughed at the sight. Children? Joker glanced at the teenagers. Several of them was focused with their battles. Children foiled our plan? He give out an airy sigh. Inconceivable. Unacceptable. He threw his fists up. Retributionable. He whispered to himself. That last one might not be a word. So sue me. Kill them. Vertigo barked out as Injustice League charged toward to Young Justice. Kill them all. It was pure chaotic for next 3 minutes as they tried to fight and it seems like Young Justice was having an upper hand on them until Votan pinned them down with electric spell. A certain pair of green eyes glance over the teenagers until the owner sees Rookie and the eyes widen at his unmasked face. It can't be. Plan B. Aqualad grunted out to Miss Martian and her eyes grow green as Bioship unloads the duffel bag, dumping it at the tan teenager's feet. He unzips it then pulls something out, a familiar gold helmet. The helmet of fate. Votan gasped, creased his spell out of shock. No, Aqualad. Kid Flash shouted, don't. He can't do anything as Black Adam knock him into nearby tree and Aqualad put the helmet on before he transform into Dr. Fate. Oh, dude. He groaned out, watching Dr. Fate battle it out with Votan. Rookie surprised Vertigo with a well-placed haymaker as the Count was about to stroll up to Poison Ivy, who was fighting Miss Martian, and the villain barely counter it as the young clone spin around with a high kick to face, pushing Vertigo back into the tree. Vertigo's head hit a low-hanging branch and it knocked him out in process. Rookie turns around to see Kid Flash, Artemis and Miss Martian taking Ivy down with teamwork. He was about to assist someone else but suddenly, the Justice League show up as Zatara took Votan out with a blast spell and the villains end up surrounding by the heroes. It's over, Batman said and the Injustice League traded glance before they surrendered to the heroes. There will be another day, Vertigo muttered, rubbing a sore spot on the back of his head. Another day? Joker stomped. Another day. There won't be another day. Not for any of us. He moved his fingers around with the evil laughter and gas pop out from the plant. Joker venom spores. Batman charged at Joker, "Don't breathe." He knocked the Joker out and Dr. Fate float over the gas. "Fear not." Dr. Fate sucked the gas through the Ankh symbol and the symbol vanish as soon as the gas disappear. Fate has intervened. Wally was upset that Calder will be forever trapped in helmet, but to his surprise, Calder removed the helmet and the speedster discovered that the spirit of Kent persuade Naboo to release Calder. Naruto watch on until Dinah hold his mask out to him. "Here, Naruto. Thank." He took it before the blonde woman mess his hair up. "Good work," she said with a smile. "I saw you with vertigo early, you did great. And not here." Naruto removed her hand from his head with embarrassing blush and he was thankful that no one noticed their act. "Thank again." Dinah just laughed at him with a headshake. It had been 4 days after Injustice League's attack and Naruto was invited to a bowling game with Connor's and Megan's friends from high school. Right now they were having boys versus girls round with Marvin sitting it out and it's in girls' favor. Strike. Maul cheered with a fist pump as the pins fall down and he strut back to the group. "Yeah, your first strike after 4 gutters." Karen teased her boyfriend and her comment causes him to almost trap over his foot. Hey. The black teenager gave her a look, only to receive a sly smirk in return and Megan giggle at them as Wendy get up for her turn before the disguised alien notice Naruto's eyes following her. She giggles again, catching her boyfriend's attention. "What's so funny?" Connor whispered to her, sipping his soda. "Naruto have his first crush and it's Wendy, it's kinda cute." Megan replied mentally and the super clone chokes on his drink. What? The older Kent nearly cried out loud. That was news to him. "When? How long have you know about that?" "I just found out 2 weeks ago." The disguised Martian shrugged her shoulders. "Why don't he tell me?" Connor glanced at his little brother. "We don't keep secrets from each other." He never noticed a small flinch from his girlfriend. "Hell, we told him about us when we get together the next day." "Perhaps, because he don't know about it." Megan replied, "Anyone won't know their feelings right away for the first time. Think about it, you guys told me that he was a blank state when they get you 2 out of Cadmus." "Yeah, you might be right." He crossed his arms. "Do we tell him?" "No, not yet." She shook her head slightly. "He's little young to get the talk. We should let it be for now." Connor was about to reply back but Wendy walked over to them. "Megan, you're up." Wendy gestured at the lane and Megan thanks her as she takes her turn. The Ravenettes sit down between Marvin and Naruto and she give the blonde boy a smile. "Enjoying the game so far?" "Why yeah." Naruto dipped his head to sip his large soda to hide his faintly blush. "You?" "Totally, I'm so enjoying kicking boys' butts." Wendy teased coyly, stealing a fry from Marvin as she ignored his cries. "But you're pretty good at that." She glanced at the scoreboard and it seems like Naruto was doing well before her eyes shift back to the blonde boy. "Say, do you want to team up with me for next round?" Sure." The blonde boy fidgeted around with his gloves. "I gotta ask." Marvin sipped his soda through straw. "What's up with the gloves? I mean, I never seen you taking them off since day one." "Oh, Naruto squirmed nervously. "He has 3rd-degree burn scars and it's very sensitive if it gets exposed to air." Connor covered him. "He's very sensitive about it so please just leave it alone." "Oh, dude, sorry." Marvin raised his hands up with a wince. "It's okay." The blonde boy muttered before he glances at his brother as Megan set up another mind link between them. "Burn scars? Really? What do you want me to say?" The older Kent quipped his eyebrow. "Oh. He can't take it off because he have a unique unremovable shirt that can't be take off without killing him until it's activated by something but we don't know how." He earns a quick smack from his girlfriend without anyone noticing it. Naruto was about to projecting his thoughts to Connor but he hears singings and he look over his shoulder to see a group of people singing happy birthday to a young boy as they sit around a cake. Birthday. He have heard and read about it before but he has never seen it in person until now. For the first time, he feel envious of these whom have birthday because he don't have a date of birth. He forget about the telepathic link and he never notice a quick glance between Megan and Connor. "Your turn, dude." Marvin nudged Naruto's shoulder. "Oh, thank." Naruto get up to get the bowling ball and he play few more rounds with the gang for few hours until it was time for their curfew. No one know that Megan was planning something for the blonde boy. It was the 10th of October when Naruto scratched Wolf's belly as Captain Marvel hand a glass to Wally. "Pineapple juice?" Marvel smiled and the speedster takes it, sipping through straw. "Ah." Wally let out a loud relieved sigh. "Just what the doctor ordered." "How's the arm doing, Wally?" Captain Marvel looked over cast on the speedster's right arm. "Well, nothing wrong, nachos can't cure." The speedster replied. "Nachos?" Marvel blinked before he snapped his fingers. "Oh, I'll go get you some. I thought it'll heal faster." Naruto said after Captain Marvel flew off. "The Flash can." "I know, but I'm not faster than the Flash yet." Wally shrugged his shoulders, and beside, "I'm not the one to complaining since it come with some sweet gigs." Suddenly, Robin clash on the floor near them and they look up to see Artemis with a smirk as Calder take Megan on behind her. "Good work, Everyone. Dinah smiled at them. In fact, it's been a very productive week. Yeah, for everyone except Kid Malingerer. Artemis mocked the speedster. Hey. The speedster lifted his cast with a glare, arm broken in combat against the Injustice League here. I've really enjoyed being your, den mother this week. Dinah chuckled before she looks at Naruto, and a foster mother in 2 cases. Give me more time to learn about the boys. Slush. You. Naruto muttered under his breath with an embarrassing blush. Recognized. The computer's voice spoke as Zeta Tube come to life. Zatara, 1, 1. The said magician walks out of the tube before he types something into hologram computer. Access granted. Zatanna, Zatara, A03. Authorization, Zatara, 1, 1. Someone walk out of the tube as the Young Justice gather together. Zatanna, this is the team. Zatara gestured at the said team before he shifted his arm to a young teenager girl in school uniform. Team, my daughter, Zatanna. The girl glanced at them nervously, rubbing her upper arm before Megan approached her with a beaming smile. Hi. The Martian greeted cheerily. I'm Robin. Robin suddenly popped in between them very eagerly before he cleared his throat. I'm Robin. Hey. He introduced his teammates with a gesture. She's Mgon, and that's Wally, Artemis, Calder, Connor, and Naruto. Welcome to the cave. Calder raised his hand up kindly. Thanks. Zatanna sighed tediously, adjusting her eyes away from them. So, are you joining the team? The boy wonder asked. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Zatara stepped in as he removed his hat. This is strictly a visit. He turned to Dinah, but I am sorry we missed the training. It's something from which Zatanna could benefit. Do the rest of you get the impression we're still on probation with Zatara? Megan connected with her teammates' minds. Not just Zatara. Connor gestured at the corridor. Why is Marvel still hanging around? Because we like having him around. Wally gave them a smug smirk. You like having him around cause he waits on you hand and foot. Artemis rolled her eyes. And your point is? The speedster shrugged his shoulders with pout. It almost makes one nostalgic for Red Tornado's tenure as our supervisor. The leader crossed his arms with tilted head. Yeah. Robin turned his eyes to Zatanna. At least he trusted us. If you ignore the fact we shouldn't have trusted him. Connor scowled as he threw his right hand up. He was a traitor. That machine nearly got all of us killed. Not all of us. I was not here, remember? Naruto looked at his brother before the older clone gives him a look as he holds his hands up. Okay, shutting up. He resumed giving Wolf a belly rub, wondering if it's possible to communicate with animals through telepathy. Are you guys having a psychic conversation? Zatanna frowned as everyone looked at her, cause I can't decide if that's cool or really rude. Alright, Connor huffed. Fine. He turned to the veteran heroes. We were talking about Tornado. It's been weeks since his attack, and the League hasn't told us anything. The League is searching for Tornado, as well as the other androids that invaded the cave and their creator, T.O. Moro. Dinah explained, Batman made tracking them down our highest priority. But you've found none of the above. Robin stepped forward. Not yet, but Tornado is Justice League. The blonde woman replied before she narrowed her eyes at them. The team is not to pursue this. Why don't you all take Zatanna on a? Zatara attempted to divert them. A tour of the cave? They were about to say something but they notice a missing girl and few members look around until they spot her at Wolf's side with Naruto. He's so cute. Zatara cuddled up against the creature as she looked at Naruto. Is he yours? What's his name? Kinda. Naruto answered lowly that she barely can hear him. He's Wolf. Cool? She raised her eyebrow at him and she was about to say something but the wolf suddenly run off. You're giving a tour? Captain Marvel carried a plate of nachos as the creature went up to him. Cool. Actually, I was hoping you'd take Wolf outside. Connor said to him, he needs the exercise. We'll join you in a few. Sure. Marvel nodded, I can do that. He led the creature away. Come on, Wolf. What? Wally groaned at the retreating backs. My nachos. Before he can do anything, Connor drags him off. The team enter the kitchen and Robin look over at Zatanna before he notice her new attire, containing purple sleeveless blouse and capri pant. When did you? Robin pulled a double take. How did you? We're not really taking a tour, are we? Zatanna looked ahead. No. Connor looked over his shoulder. We're hunting down that robot. He glanced to his leader. Wait, what? Naruto looked up to them. Yes, we are. Calder nodded. Oh, wow. The Ravenet whistled, out loud and everything. What about new girl? Artemis asked. I'm sure she won't tell. Robin shrugged with a smirk. I can't tell. Zatanna smirked. Not if you kidnap me. Oh, she's going to fit in great. The Arrowette smirked with hands on her hip. It has been about 30 minutes since the team took off in bioship until they hear a voice. Mgon, the bioship wasn't authorized for departure. It was Dinah's voice. We're kidnapping Zatanna. Megan smiled. to show her happy harbor. Be back soon. She immediately cut the transmission. Where are we going? Wally looked over Robin's chair. Batman is the world's greatest detective, and he searched for Tornado and Moro in every logical location. Robin glanced back. If we're going to do better, we need an illogical solution. A truly dumb idea. The speedster slowly realizes that everyone was staring at him. As a matter of fact, the speedster muttered, how about we go and talk to Ivo? Maybe he knows since he's an evil scientist like Moro? Gone. Redirect us to Bel Rev. Calder ordered before the ship maneuvered to the prison's location. Warden Strange owed us a favor for stopping a prison's break. Miss Martian leaned on table with her hands as she glared into Ivo's eyes. He's given us 5 minutes with you. Spill, Ivo. Superboy scowled with crossed arms. How do we find T.O. Moro and his Reds? Now, why in the world would I know how to find Moro? Ivo scoffed. Because. Kid Flash spoke up, and here's a truly dumb idea. You're Moro's biggest competitor in the evil android game. Who better to keep track of what he's up to, and where? Ah, I see your point. The humming scientist clasped his hands. So let me rephrase, why in the world would I tell you how to find Moro? He knows. Aqualad looked at the Martian. Do what you must. The Martian's eyes glow green and Ivo give out a bellowing laughter. Oh, please. Ivo crossed his arms smugly, as if I've never faced a telepath before. You're no Omega. Trolb tuo swarum yurt noidakal. Zatanna leaned over Ivo. Moro's in a secret underground base beneath Yellowstone National Park, 100 meters south of Old Faithful. Ivo blurted out with widened eyes. Damn. Rookie whispered out loud as the team stared at her with varied reactions. Wait. The scientist covered his mouth in horror. What just happened? Move out. Aqualad shook his shock off before his team leaves the baffled scientist alone in the room. It was late at night as the ship fly over mountains and Calder was giving them orders. Black out all external communication. Aqualad said, soon, Canary, and Zatara, Batman, too, I imagine, will know of our visit with Professor Ivo. We haven't much time. Look, Robin chuckled at Zatanna's casual attire. I'm trying to be all nonchalant here. Why? Zatanna quipped her eyebrow at him. Be as chalant as you like. It earned and smirked from the boy wonder. I think we're all just trying to get a handle on your powers. Artemis explained, could you teleport us to Tornado, or Moro to a cell, or force his bots to surrender, or create peace on Earth for all time? The magician girl waved it off. Zatara and Dr. Strange couldn't even do all that, and I'm nowhere near on my dad's level. I need to know a spell cold, or else have time to prep it. Plus, all magic requires energy, which usually has to come from within. I just can't make the impossible happen at will. What's our ETA to Yellowstone? Superboy asked impatiently. I'm way past ready to stuff Tornado into a trash compactor. Are you so certain he betrayed us? Calder said. Aren't you? The older clone looked behind. I am not convinced. Aqualad shook his head, and even so, that makes him but the victim of his creator's programming. Certainly, he deserves a chance to prove he's more than the weapon others designed him to be. Hey, I gotta ask. Zatanna leaned closer to Artemis with a whisper. What's up with him? She gestured to Naruto with a jerk of her head. Since I get here, he barely speaks a word to me. We're on mission, I get it, but still. Oh, he's just a little shy with strangers. The Arrowette replied with a wearily smile. When I first joined the team, he never say anything to me for hours and he would be just shy 1 minute and talk a lot next minute. Of course, his speech wasn't that great back then. Just give him some time, he'll warm up to you like he does with me. That's a shame. The magician girl sighed. I was hoping to talk to him more, he's kinda cute. Artemis blinked at her and she glanced at Naruto before she shake her head with a light chuckle. The ship finally reaches the Yellowstone National Park and the team step out in their uniforms, except for Zatanna. Stealth mode. A Quadlad ordered his team as they switched to their stealth modes before he looked to Zatanna. I recommend you stay behind. Is that an order? Zatanna asked slyly. No. Calder shook his head. You must do as you see fit. Good. The magician girl replied before she chant a spell. Imitat ert tuo eth when cool. A smoke come out under her feet and wrap around her body, transforming her outfit to a magician uniform before she run off into the woods with the team toward the base's location. Robin pulls the map hologram up as soon as they reach the clearing. Ivo was right. Something's down there. They were about to move out again but a powerful wind blow their way, flinging them back in process and they look up to see Red Tornado. The android summon a ring of red tornadoes around the team. Why, Tornado? Miss Martian grunted out. Why are you doing this? The android does not give her any response as he kept creating more tornadoes and the Martian set up a mind link among her team. Message received. Her boyfriend gives her a quick nod. Who cares why? Superboy charged with a roar. Nail him. Superboy. Aqualad barked. Maneuver 7. The super clone launched his leader up in air and he was about to deck the android but Red Tornado quickly throw a left hook, sending Aqualad plummeting into Superboy with a crash. Artemis attempt to take him down with explosive arrows, but the android bat them back to the arrowette. Look out! Artemis warned her team as several members jump away from the explosive. That does it, Red. Kid Flash narrowed his eyes. You're not the only spin doctor around here. He spin around at super speed, creating a black tornado. At same time, Miss Martian throw a sucker punch at Red Tornado's back, but the android turn around to catch her fist before he throw her into Kid Flash, taking them out in process. Attack A. Zatanna chanted a spell as she stands in middle of the clearing with the team. A. Leesnura M. But before she can use her magic, Red Tornado grab her by throat and Rookie quickly stab a dagger into the android's hand as an attempt to free her, but the android's another hand grab him by throat and he choke them until they pass out before he toss them away, looking over the unconscious teenagers. Quite a performance, brother, but we both know that's all it was. Red Tornado turns his head to Red Volcano as the new android stand on an elevating rock with crossed arms before he tilt his head at a message in the ground. It read play dead. I have all your memories, Tornado, plus a next-gen processor. I know your next move before you do. He raised his hands up and a force rip a huge chunk of earth out as the team get up unharmed. Blowing a message into the sand? Volcano scoffed before the earth shatter, hurling dozens of rocks at the teenagers below him, and the team quickly evades the raining rocks or destroys the large rocks into small pieces, depending on each hero's. Zatanna? Robin called out to her. I'm good. Zatanna replied before she looks up in sky. Red Tornado's getting away. Is he abandoning us? Artemis draw her arrow with a frown. I don't believe that. Miss Martian flew toward Volcano with Kid Flash running under her. You stand no chance against me, humans. Volcano gloated, batting the speedster away with a punch. We're not human. Superboy leapt toward him together with the Martian. Apologies. The android raised his arms up to summon a pair of giant stone hands from the earth. I suppose the properly inclusive term is. The hands smashed the couple with a clap. Meatbags. He swiped his left arm around and the ground split up, knocking some racing heroes off their feet as Artemis and Calder fall into the hole, only to be rescued by Artemis' rope arrow. Robin and Rookie quickly throw explosive birdarangs and daggers at the android, but it have no effect on the android. Tornado's memory files and my superior processing speed allow me to anticipate your every move. Emox Imaseb Adlof DNLB. Zatanna cast a spell upon the robot and the smoke wrap around his eyes, alerting Volcano. Tornado never knew my moves, and I bet you've got some good ones. The boy wonder smirked before he gets an look from her. Whoa, sorry. That may have come off a little too Wally. Is that what they call a bad influence on you? Rookie asked him, earning a light laughter and a nod from Robin. I don't mind. Zatanna chuckled before Volcano fired lasers from its eyes, following by an erupting volcano behind him. They never trained me. The young clone muttered as the lava flowed down. For this shit, Naruto, we're going to have a word about your language after that. Megan looked at him sternly. Ha, you got told. Kid Flash ran across the battlefield with a chuckle before he stumbles slightly as he checks his surrounding. He's activating a stage 2 eruption. It gets to stage 3, kiss the hemisphere goodbye. Hit him from all sides. Aqualad lunged at the android with water blades and everyone attempt to attack the robot, but it was in vain as Red Volcano toy around with them while they try their best to protect each other. It was soon changed when a giant water wave come out of nowhere and sweep the robot off its feet into the river of lava. Nice hit. Robin grinned. The hit was not mine. Aqualad replied, look. He pointed at Red Torpedo as the android summoned water pillars, launching them at Red Volcano as soon as he get up, and Red Tornado show up with Red Inferno, all forcing the evil android down in the lava river with their own attacks. Sister, Volcano roared angrily as he locked hands with Red Inferno. Brothers, stop. Red Torpedo tackle him down and they both hold Volcano down with struggles. Their body parts slowly melt down as Red Tornado drilled downward on them deeper into the lava river. Father would be so disappointed. Red Tornado was about to join them, but Connor pulled him out of the river with a mighty leap. Tornado, listen. The speedster barked, we're on the verge of a stage 3 supervolcano eruption. There's no turning back from that. We need to vent pressure, fast. But the ash cloud will bring on worldwide nuclear winter unless you divert it. Tornado nodded its head before Wally turned to Robin. Triangulate around the pressure locus. Right. Robin looked at the hologram computer. There, and there. Artemis fired her arrows at the chosen locations, blowing it up, and Tornado fly up higher with the best he can do without his legs before the android form a giant tornado, sucking the smokes up into the outer space. The volcano start to die down as it went out. Yes. Wally pumped with his cast before he see Tornado landing with a crash and the team race up to him, quickly bring him back to their base. There. The speedster exhaled out after they hooked Tornado up to machines as he stepped back from the robot. That should do it. Yes. Tornado brings his face plate down. I can speak again. You were willing to sacrifice yourself to save the planet. Calder stepped up to his side. The planet would have survived. Red Tornado turned his head to them. It is humanity that was saved, though not by me. My sister and brother were the true heroes this day. My point is this. Calder placed his hand on the android's shoulder. You were never the mole, never a traitor. No. The android spoke. I left to protect you from further attack and to find my creator, Moro. Cool. Wally lifted a red hand up. Souvenir. Ready, we can rebuild you better than you were before. Robin carried a red leg with a grin. I do not believe I should be repaired. Tornado replied. Why'd you volunteer to become our den mother in first place? Connor said over his shoulders. I was the pragmatic choice. The android answered. I do not require sleep. I have no secret identity or second life to live. But you do have advanced AI programming designed to learn, adapt, evolve. The speedster fidgeted with the robot hand. Hello, gone. Megan smacked her forehead. You wanted to become more human. And you couldn't do that with the League. Zatanna said, they're stiffs. You're sure not going to learn emotion from Batman. Robin agreed, trust me. Then the cave was not a proving ground only for us, but for you as well. Calder said, I do not know if these statements are accurate, but perhaps they are true. Red Tornado hummed, and if I understand the term correctly, I believe I have come to care about you all. See? Connor said, practically a meatbag already. Which reminds me. The android looked away from them as he think back on meeting his creator. The team flies back to their base before Robin peek over Zatanna's chair. So, good kidnapping? Actually, yeah. Zatanna smiled. Best ever. First of many, I hope. Robin said dreamily. If my dad doesn't ground me for life. The magician girl muttered. She's grounded for life. Zatara shrieked. They're good kids, Giovanni. Don't worry, Giovanni. She's never joining this team. Are they coming out to play or what? Captain Marvel stumbled back tiredly with Wolf. Oh, brother. Dinah sighed mentally as she kept her poker face up. It's almost midnight and Naruto walked toward his room with a yawn. He never get a chance to open his door as Megan appeared from nowhere with a wide smile. Naruto, come with me. She suddenly dragged his arm down the hallway. Hurry. Wait, what are? He stuttered out confusingly before he ended up in kitchen and he blinked at the sight in front of him. The team and Dinah was sitting around the table with a cake and a couple of gifts. What's going on? He looked between them. We decide to celebrate October 10 today. Connor crossed his arms before he gave him a small smirk. Because it's your birthday. Huh? Naruto perked his head up with a rapid blink. And my birthday? Yeah, Megan comes up with it. Calder smiled. And we feel like you deserve a birthday. It don't feel right if you don't get one. We picked today. Robin said before he rubbed his head with a sheepish chuckle. We were supposed to celebrate it early but things kinda get in way. That's part of the gigs. Dinah replied before she gave Naruto a smile. Come on, join us and blow the candle out. Oh okay. The blonde boy slowly walks toward the table and joining them. Still can't believe it. He receives an orange jacket with hood and his own smartphone, which have his teammates' numbers inside. It was kinda rushed but very thoughtful of them to give him something that he want, a birthday. Today we will run a simulation where you will take our place in case if Justice League and the front line of defend fall. Batman looms over young Justice before he cast his gaze upon Naruto. It's been few days after the Red fiasco. But for you, we are going to loan you out to other team to teach you how to improvise if you were to team up with someone under some circumcision. Whose team? Naruto asked. You'll know. The Dark Knight gestured to Flash. Flash will drop you off at a location. Go pack, 2 days worth, and meet him in front of Zeta Tube. So he'll be gone for the weekend? Robin corked his eyebrow and his mentor barely nods. I guess I'll see you guys on Sunday. The blonde boy gives teenagers a wave as they return it before he leave to pack. I wonder which team is it? Calder muttered. That was first time he heard about it since Batman usually let him know some things beforehand. Naruto find himself in New York again but it seems that he was in a different distinct and he look up to Barry. Do you know who we are meeting? The young clone asked. Yup, but I'm not gonna tell you. Barry smirked. Don't wanna spoil the surprise. He put his hand on the boy's shoulder. Gonna run us there, brace yourself. Before Naruto know it, everything move in blur and his body suddenly experienced some rush, mixed with nausea, as he suddenly catch his bearings as soon as Barry halt his running. Yuck, I think I'm. Naruto gagged, gonna vomit. It'll take a while to get used to it. The speedster chuckled at his reaction. Not everyone can experience a high speed without getting nausea. He gestured at something behind Naruto. You ready to go in? The boy looks behind to see a mansion. What is this place? The blonde boy asked curiously after he makes a recovery. Avengers Mansion. A new voice spoke at their right side and Naruto turned his head to see a man before his jaw dropped down to ground. That man in front of him wasn't just any man but a man that he can't help but to admire him for everything he stands for. It was neither other than. Why you're Captain America. Naruto stuttered with widened eyes as he pointed his shaking finger at the said hero, and Barry laughed at his reaction. And you must be Naruto, aka Rookie. Captain America chuckled lightly before he offers him his hand. Call me Steve. Why yes, sir. The blonde boy took his hand in a shake. I mean, Steve. I'll let you two get acquainted here. Barry stretched his legs out with a smile as he jabbed his thumb over his shoulder. Bat, need me for something? Do you need anything before I go? No, we're good here. Steve picked Naruto's luggage up with a wave. All right. The speedster glanced at the awe-stricken boy. I'll pick you up on Sunday noon. Bye. He vanished in a flash. Come on, I'm going to show you around a bit and perhaps introduce you to some guys. Steve jerked his head at the entrance good-heartedly before they walk into the building as the boy look around his surrounding. Did Batman tell you the reason why you're here? Kinda. Naruto nodded shyly. He said I'm gonna learn how to improvise with other team and that's it. Ah, I see. The war hero nodded. Well, you're going to shadow one of us if we have to go out on a mission or patrol, but we are going to train you a bit with another team. Another team? The young boy blinked with a raised eyebrow. Yes, it's little similar to your current team that Batman told me a bit about. Steve replied as they step into the elevator. Of course, he doesn't tell me much about it. The elevator ring out as soon as the doors slide open and Naruto realized they were in basement floor before he noticed a large metal door ahead. The blonde man walked toward the metal door and the boy follow him in as the doors slide open before he see a small group of teenagers with an older man. He want to make himself smaller as soon as their eyes draw to him. Steve. The man greeted him before he looked down at Naruto. And that must be Naruto. Meet Hawkeye. Steve introduced him before he shifted his arm to the group as they approached them. Naruto, this is Young Avengers. The boy gives him an odd look. It was Tony's idea to name them, not mine. Tony is the Iron Man, right? Naruto muttered and the war hero nods before he glances at the group. Hiya. A young petite teenager girl suddenly invades his personal space with a bubbly voice, nearly cause him to step back with a yelp. Nice to meet ya. I'm Wasp, but you can call me Janet or Jan. She have a short brown hair with flip side bangs, blue eyes, and she wear a very tight black spandex suit with yellow highlight armors, a pair of black boots, and he can see something on her back but he don't take a good look at it. Wasp, take it easy. An older teenager girl placed hand on her shaking head with a sigh. Can't you see you're freaking him out? She wears a tight white spandex suit with mask, an unique amulet around her neck, and black ponytails stick out from back of her head. The girl moved Wasp back behind her as she give Naruto a greeting. I'm White Tiger and that's Shang-Chi. Ni hao. A Chinese teenage boy greeted him good-heartedly. He wears a red jumpsuit with black accents and gold braces on his wrists. Spider-Man. Hey. An older teenager boy waved. He appears to be 18 and he wear a red and blue spandex with spider symbol on his chest and web pattern all over his mask. And Iceman. Call me Bobby. A brown-haired well-built teenager raised his hand to him. He wear a black hoodie with jean, black bandana and a pair of sneaker. You're Rookie, right? Why yes, it's nice to meet everybody. Naruto muttered shyly. You can call me Naruto if you want. I'll let you guys get along. Steve patted Hawkeye's shoulder before he turns to Naruto. I'm going to drop your luggage in the guest room that I will show you in about. He checked the time, 2 hours. And I'll cut the training short for now. Hawkeye said with a smirk. You guys can give him a tour. He waved to Naruto as he leaves with Steve. Nice to meet you, kiddo, by the way. Oh, you too. The blonde boy stuttered as the door slide closed and he stared at the Young Avengers, not sure what to say right now. Everything was so quiet that you can hear a dropping pin from miles away until Janet abruptly pulls him out of the room. Come on, let me show you around. The petite girl said chirpily, ignoring the yelping clone's cries. Here we go again. White Tiger followed them with a deadpan tone, followed by the boys. A brief tour later, Naruto was in kitchen with Young Avengers as they eat their snack. So how long have you been doing this gig for? Spider-Man asked, his mask lift over his mouth as he takes a bite from a cookie. He and White Tiger refuse to remove their mask or share their real name to protect their secret identity like Robin. 4 or 5 months. Naruto chewed his sandwich. I think. I'm new to that. What make you take up the mask? Bobby asked curiously. Yeah, is it because you have a power or pretty awesome at fighting? Janet swung her legs around on the stool. I don't know. The blonde boy adjusted his gaze down to his sandwich. All I know is that I have a healing factor and that's it. My brother and I were taken in by the Justice League after my team find us in one of the Cadmus laboratories. Cadmus? White Tiger frowned behind her mask. I hear about this organization. They did a lot of questionable things from cruel human experimentation to other things. She studied him with her eyes. Were you a victim? I don't know. I'm a clone. Naruto shook his head. Wait, please don't tell me you can do whatever Spider can do? Spider-Man gulped. No? The blonde boy blinked confusingly as the Spider-Man released a relived breath. Not to my knowledge. The Cadmus never gives me any fabricated memories and I don't know who I am clone of. I'm blank. Whoa, I never met a clone before. Janet poked his arm, drawing a weird look from him. That's cool, maybe you're Logan's clone. Bobby rubbed his chin. He's only one I know that have healing factor, beside X-23, but you don't look anything like him at all. Did they run DNA test on you yet? Batman is working on it. Naruto said bitterly. He really want to know but the Dark Knight never give him any answers and it feel like he was stalling for something. All I know about is my status. Oh, does that mean you're either metahuman or mutant like me? The bulky teenager asked as he coats his right arm in ice with a wide smirk before he paused. Wait, did you say Batman? As in the Batman? Yes, I think we're talking about. The boy nodded, very same Batman. And to answer your question, I'm, something different. He scratched his head nervously, I'm a metamutant and, first of my kind. The group stares at him in disbelief as he resumes eating his sandwich nervously. Seriously, you're getting cooler and cooler. Janet grinned widely and the young boys start to think she might be related to Wally or Megan. Wait, are you sure about sharing this info with us? Spider-Man raised his hand up. What if someone find out about that and try to do something to you? But you're not going. Naruto looked to him. To do anything to me, right? I think he mean what if we go and tell people about that? Shang-Chi said. Who are you gonna tell? The boy asked. Oh, The Chinese teenager stammered as he tried to find the correct words. Just don't say anything about it until you can trust them with that. Bobby spoke up. Trust me, I'm a mutant so I know. Okay. Naruto nodded before he looked at him. So, you can control ice? Yup, that's my gift. The Iceman grinned as he showed his power off by freezing his water bottle. I have a gift to produce copies of myself. Shang-Chi smiled. You can say I'm a mutant too but it was under some circumstances. I can fly and make myself smaller. Janet leaned in closer to him with a grin before she pointed Spider-Man with her thumb. He can do whatever Spider can do, like everything. That's why he's Spider-Man. He can shoot web from his ass like a spider? The boy asked innocently. WWWA. Spider-Man waved his arms frantically as the group suddenly laughed out loud at the image of him shooting web from his rear. No. God, no. I shoot web from my wrists. That was really fun. White Tiger wiped tear from her eyes with laughter as Spider-Man buried his face in his hands with a groan. Now they will never let him live it down. She turned to the blonde boy. For me, I get my power through this necklace. It makes me enhanced, almost like a superhuman. Is it a magical? Naruto asked her. Kinda, it's mystical. The white-cladded girl scratched her cheek unsurely with her index finger. Oh, that's interesting. The blonde boy replied, I only have seen one mystical artifact, I think? He wasn't sure if the helmet of Naboo was a mystical object or not. Do me a favor, can you speak up a little? Bobby asked. It's kinda hard to hear you since you keep talking so quiet and you keep pausing a lot. I believe he's possibly shy and new at speech. The Chinese teenager glanced at Bobby before he turns to the young clone. Am I right? The boy just nods his head. Ah, alright then. The Iceman shrugged his shoulders and they make some small chats until Janet bounced back up on her feet with a gasp. Oh, right. The grinning petite girl clapped her hands together. Do you want to see the commander room? Maybe you can gotta see some Avengers. Once again, she dragged the yelping boy out of the kitchen. Come on. Did she have some sweets again or what? Spider-Man asked out loud. So this schedule would be good enough for our guest for the next 2 days. Steve nodded as he discussed with several of his fellow Avengers before they end their meeting and the war hero get up, turning his head to a dinging elevator. Ta-da! Janet swung her arm at the commander room with a gesture as Naruto stumbled a bit. The young Avenger was behind him with amused expression. What do you think? It's cool? Naruto said awkwardly, glancing around the room until his gaze noticed few people as they're doing their own business. There were 6 Avengers at different places, 2 that he already met early like Captain America and Hawkeye. The first person that catches his eye was a red and green male android with yellow cape, standing in front of a large computer monitor and his yellow eyes briefly gaze at the teenagers before it fixed back to the monitor. Naruto realized him as Vision from watching few news. The second person was a redhead woman in a very tight black spandex suit with revealing cleavage and she have a pair of large braces and a yellow belt. She sits at a large table, going over something on a small tablet in her hands. Sitting across from her was a brown-haired lanky man who seems to be very nervous and squirming around in his seat. The man quickly get up and scurry out quietly as possible as he can as if he was worried about something. Finally, the fourth person was a man in a red spandex suit with black circle and bar on its chest and he wears a sliver helmet with 2 antenna-like sticks on top. He sits by himself with crossed arms and his eyes gaze at them for a bit before he looks away. Naruto have a feeling that there was something off about this man when he was looking at them but he doesn't know why. That is Vision over there. Janet pointed out animatedly. He's a robot, which is pretty cool. Android. Spider-Man corrected her, but it fall upon on deaf ears. She's Natasha Romanova, known as Black Widow, and she's a super spy who works for S.H.I.E.L.D., a place for super spies. The petite girl shifts her finger to the redhead, totally badass. She turned her finger to the helmet wearer, and that's Hank Pym. He's Ant-Man and he can shrink to size of an ant, like me. Who is this guy? Naruto glanced at her. That just leave early? Oh, that's Banner. Spider-Man answered instead. You really don't want to get him angry? Trust me, you don't. Okay? The boy blinked puzzlingly. You just saved me sometimes. I was about to get you to show you the way to the guest room. Steve walked up to the group with a small smile as he glanced at the young Avengers members. I'm going to borrow him for a few minutes then send him back to you. He beckoned Naruto with his hand. Follow me. See you in couple minutes. Bobby hollered out to him as they split up for now. After Steve showed him the guest room, he returned to the training room and was currently sparring with Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi asked him for a light spar early and the young clone agreed. My money's on Shang. Bobby sipped his drink as he watched them sparring with non-lethal weapons. That sucker bet there. Spider-Man winced at a thudding sound as soon as Shang-Chi smashed his tonfa into the back of Naruto's knees with a spin, forcing him to kneel down before the Chinese introduced his spinning heel to the boy's face. You know Shang-Chi is expert at kung fu and other stuffs. I wonder why Justice League decides to loan him out to us? White Tiger crossed her arms with a tilted head as she watched Naruto flip up on his feet, throwing a left hook, but it was parried by Shang-Chi. Maybe to expand his circle in our community and more experience? Bobby rubbed his chin thoughtfully. Right? Since he's a clone and first metamutant, they want to help him by protecting him from other people and get some support from people like us. Maybe. The white-cladded teenager nodded at that before the young clone tumbled out of the ring, sliding across the floor near them with a groan. I win. Shang-Chi bounced on his feet with a smirk before he held his hand out to the blonde boy. You alright? Yeah, I am. Naruto took his hand with another groan as he rubbed the side of his face. I'm glad I have a healing factor. He looked up to him. You're really good at that. I learned a lot of martial arts since I was little. The Chinese teenager chuckled. I can teach you few moves if you like. Yes. The blonde boy nodded after he thinks about it for a few moments. I would like that. Okay, take 5. White Tiger clapped her hand once, then we can do some easy team training to ease you in. Naruto nodded to her before he notices something. Where's Janet? She possibly went up to get something to eat. Spider-Man shrugged his shoulders. Oh, I see. The blonde boy scratched his head. I think I'm going up too. Get some water. He was thirsty after his spar and he looked at Shang-Chi. Want one? No, thank. Shang-Chi shook his head with a smile and the young clone nodded before he left the training area. Janet makes some sandwiches for her teammates with a cheerful hum. She feel happy that she got to make a new friend and it's someone from one of Justice League teams. It still boggle her mind that a major team is training a young team like hers, but everyone was all hush-hush about it. Not even Naruto give them more detail on it because he was ordered not to by the Batman. What if it's a Black Ops team? She thinks deeply before a voice snapped her out of her thought. Hello, Janet. The said girl peeked over her shoulders to see Hank Pym. Oh, hi, Mr. Pym. Janet greeted with a smile. She kinda have a crush on him once because they have similar abilities and he was handsome, but it was just a fleeting crush, due to the difference between their ages. Call me Hank. Ant-Man gave her a smile. You're making some sandwiches? Yup, for the team. She turned back to the snacks as Hank gets closer. I can make an extra if you. A sharp gasp escapes her lip and she quickly spun around with a glare as she take a step away from Hank. This man just feel her up. What the hell? What's the matter? Hank quipped his eyebrow at her. Can't stand a little attraction? You just feel me up? Janet shouted. So? Hank gave her a coyly smirk. I know you like it. After all, I overheard you telling White Tiger you have a crush on me the other day. It was a silly crush, she hissed. That was, like, way back. Oh, don't be like that. His hand reached out to her hair, but Janet slapped it away with a glare and Hank's face scrunched up in anger before he slapped her face with a backhand, knocking her against the counter. You bitch. He snarled. I give you something you want and you throw it back in my face? His hand lashes out toward her. Come he. Something hit his face hard, causing him to stumble back disoriented, and he shakes it off to see Naruto as he jumped in front of Janet. It turns out the boy attacked him in his blind spot by flipping over the counter after he heard the dispute when he came out of the elevator. You okay? Naruto whispered over his shoulder to Janet, not taking his eyes off the angry man in front of her. Why yes. Janet rubbed her sore cheek. I'm fine. What are you doing? Hank barked at the blonde boy with madness glint in his eyes. That don't concern you. It does. The boy frowned. Hank clenches his fists with flaring nostrils. How dare they? This bitch have been teasing him by walking around in this outfit and he was kinda chat with her for months then offer her a small attraction but she spit it back in his face then this brat, this nobody just humiliated him in front of her by being a damn hero and attack him. He's an Avenger and this little bastard must pay for it. You fucking brat. Ant-Man lunged at them with a wrathful roar as he threw his arm at Naruto, knocking him across the counter with a crash and Janet quickly retreat back to create a large space between them with frightened expression. "I'm gonna kill you for this humiliation." Naruto scrambled up to his feet and he quickly blocked Ant-Man's punch with his arms before he attempt to sweep him off his feet with a sweep kick but Hank shrinks smaller to evade the kick. Before the clone can react, Hank deliver a powerful uppercut to his chin as the Ant-Man enlarge and it nearly knock him out but the boy managed to keep his conscious and he drive his foot into Hank's stomach, taking wind out of him. Naruto quickly clasped his hands together before he deck Ant-Man's head with a hammer fist and he was hoping it'll take him down but it only makes the man angrier. Hank grab his arm before he smash it against the edge of table and Naruto scream out in pain as he dropped down on his knees, clutching his arm. He was lucky that his bones doesn't break. Hank's hands stretch out to grasp Naruto's head with a thrust but a gloved hand catches forehead in a tight grip and the angry man turn his vengeful eyes to meet yellow eyes. "Dr. Pym, what have you done?" Vision chided sternly. "That is not your business, Vision." Hank snarled angrily, "Let go of me. Someone have to teach them to respect their seniors." "That is my business." The android's grip tightened. "I can't let you lay your hands upon these children. Cease that and leave us be." "Or what?" Ant-Man spat. "What are you gonna do?" "Nothing. I'm an Avenger and they're just nobodies. They're sidekicks, a bunch of fucking wannabes." "Better a sidekick than," Naruto hissed, "a bastard like you." Hank turned his gaze to the clone sharply before he suddenly wrenched his arm away from the android as he attempted to beat Naruto with a roar but a blast hit Hank in back, smashing him against the wall and a hard bump to head knock Hank out. The teenagers stare at the downed hero with widened eyes. "Is he?" "No, he's unconscious." Vision replied as the glowering gem on his forehead dim. "I merely use solar blast at very low power." He turned his head to the clone. "Is your arm injured severely?" No. The clone shook his head before he winced as he touched his arm. "I heal faster. You should check it out in an infirmary room to make sure." The android spoke. "Healing factor or not, it's better to check your health in any case." His head shifted to Janet and he can see that she was shaken up by everything, even if she doesn't show much of it. "Janet, would you be kind to escort Naruto to the infirmary room? I have to take Dr. Pym and report to Avengers of his behavior. I will also inform young Avenger that we have to call training off for today, due to personal reason." "Why yes, sir," Janet muttered with a small nod before she tugged Naruto's shirt toward her. "Come on, you hear him." The android watched the teenagers leave the kitchen and he turns his head down to Hank with a disappointed frown. "Look like your factor isn't an advancement class." Janet tended to Naruto's arm with bandages, which was kinda silly because he can't remove this odd shirt but he don't have a heart to say anything about it. They were in infirmary and the young clone sit on an exam table. "Yes, it will take me," Naruto replied, "about 6 to 7 hours. Broken one takes longer." "Speaking from experience?" She sits down next to him after finished up. "Yeah." He nodded lightly. He accidentally broke his arm during training one time and it took about 3 to 4 days for his bone to heal completely. It was very quiet for a while before Naruto noticed her shoulders starting to shake slightly from the corner of his eyes and he turned his head to face her with concern. "Janet?" Suddenly, she wrapped her arms around him in a hug as she buried her face into his chest and Naruto hold his arms up out of confusion, not expecting it. Janet?" He whispered as she sobbed into his chest. He feels so awkward and don't know what to do in this situation. He slowly moves his right hand to her back and he pats it awkwardly, which make her hug to tighten as he slowly holds her awkwardly. Naruto's eyes flutter open as the light flick few times over him. Due to a faulty blub. Wait, when did he fall asleep? He tried to rub his eyes but he feels something holding his hands down and his blurry vision slowly clears up before he let out a small squeak. Janet was sleeping at his side but what make him squeak out was because she was so close enough to invade his personal space. They both lie on their side with their forehead touching and she was holding both of his hands in her hands. He can feel her feet brushing against his shin since she was curling up a little. Naruto quietly scoot back but there was one thing that he forgets about. He was still on the exam table and his mistake cost him as he fall down on the floor with a cry, waking Janet up with a jolt. "Naruto?" Janet rubbed her eyes as she peeked over the table. "What happened? Are you okay?" Fine. I just slipped." Naruto climbed back up on his feet with a groan as Janet swung her legs over the edge of the table. "Did we just fall asleep?" The petite teenager hopped down with a yawn before she looks down to him. Despite her petite height, she was a little taller than Naruto. "Sorry about that." She glanced at wet spots on his shirt. "Oh, it's okay." He waved it off. Are you feeling better?" Yup." Janet smiled at him before she suddenly gives him another hug out of blue. "Thank you." She released him as she head to a restroom and infirmary room. Gotta powder my nose, you can go ahead if you want. Okay. Naruto said, and he stepped out of the infirmary room before he stared at someone leaning against the wall across the room. You're, Natasha, right? Yes, that's right. Black Widow pushes herself off the wall. Vision filled us in on what happened early. How is she doing? I was going to check up on her but I saw you two sleeping. She's okay. He scratched his head nervously. Well, I'm going to talk to her. The redhead walks toward the room. Wait, what about? Naruto was about to ask her something but she speak up before he can finish his sentence. Don't worry about Hank, we placed him in a holding place in other base so we can figure out what to do with him. Black Widow glanced over her shoulder, and we remove his access to everything. He's out. Naruto don't know what to say as she enter infirmary room and he decide to go to his room for now. Naruto? The said boy looks up from his homework to see Steve as the man enters with a light knock. Just want to check up on you. How you feeling? I'm good. Naruto rubbed his arm gently. Better than an hour ago. Healing factor, one of best things. Steve chuckled lightly, less time staying in hospital. Yeah, I guess so. The boy replied before he looks at him. Wait, how did you? Batman told me a bit about you and it's my job to know whom and what when they're in team. The war hero answered. Like Hank? Naruto frowned. Yes. Steve rubbed the back of his head. Tony was the one who bring him in when they found the Avengers, some time before I thaw out. He wasn't this kind of person until after the whole thing with Ultron and there were some signs. He sighed. I should have said something when I saw the first sign, but he was one of you. The boy said. Yes, I have to give him a benefit of doubt because he did a lot of things and hope that he'll get better but I was wrong. The war hero replied. If he was a hero, Naruto turned to him, then why did he? The thing about being a hero. Steve sits down on bed. Most of time, it can take tolls on you, physical and mental. Some people can't handle it very well. Even a good man and woman. There was a silence between them for few moments before he speak up again. You did good thing, for standing up and fighting for the right thing. But he was strong man. The boy muttered. Me and it was Vision who. Strength does not come from experience or how many battles you won. Steve cut him off as he poked himself in chest few time. It come from the heart, your courage and what you stand for. You took him on and you know that he best you in many things but you did it to protect someone without thinking about the consequences. He stands up to pat Naruto's shoulder with a kind smile. You're a hero to this person. You did good job. Thank. Naruto scratched his head embarrassingly, but I did it because it was right thing to do. I know. Steve walked to the door before he glanced over his shoulder with a small grin. I'm proud of you. Thank again. The boy replied and the door closed. Captain America walked down the hallway before he looked over his shoulder at the direction of the guest room and he resumed walking with a proud smile. He does take after me. He thought. His team and the Young Avengers does not know the true reason why Naruto was loaned to them for the weekend. It was a meeting between Steve and his clone because he have to accept the fact that he have a clone and to build a relationship between them. Steve has to keep everyone in dark for now until he's sure about something. He's no clone for sure. He nodded. The clones usually act like they're original but when he met Naruto for a short time, he can tell that the boy was his own person. The weekend just flew by so fast and Naruto said his goodbye to several Avengers and the Young Avengers. He spends most of time training and learning few things with Young Avengers under the veteran heroes and he also get to know some a little. Hawkeye remind him of Green Arrow but unlike Arrow, he spend most of time training Young Avengers like Dinah with Young Justice and he'll give them some advices. Naruto thought he was pretty alright but it's hard to say because he only see him during training sessions. Vision was so like Red Tornado but with facial expression. He always check up on Naruto's health and make sure that everything was okay. I bet he's Young Avengers Mother Den. Naruto rolled his eyes mentally. It feel like there were a lot of similar between Avengers and Justice League but he don't say it out loud. Captain America always stopped by and chat with them. He even would spar with them at same time to prove that sometime numbers does not matter when you go up against a person. This shield fucking hurt. Naruto winced at the memory. He wonder if Steve has a superpower because it always comes back to Captain America's hand every freaking time he throws it. Spider-Man was a funny person and he remind him a little of Wally because they talk a lot during training but the Spider have better wits than Kid Flash. Spider-Man stick around for a day before he went off doing whatever he does. White Tiger was like a leader and pretty serious at that. She would give her team some tips after watching their spar or give them some suggestions to help them. Bobby was kinda nice who make a lot of jokes, besides some bad puns. He was really tough during the training and he was pretty cool. He only stay on Saturday but went back to his school because he was on other team like him. Shang-Chi is pretty cool but Naruto swear that he was sadist because he keep beat his ass all over the floor. At least, Naruto learned some cool moves from Shang-Chi since they spar a lot in free time and Spider-Man joked that Shang-Chi is converting Naruto into a battle freak like him. Janet was really friendly and very bubbly, and she mostly sticks to his side like glue almost all the time, possibly due to Pim incident. She really liked to gossip and talk about different topics, mostly fashion. If you visit New York again, look me up. Spider-Man waved to Naruto after White Tiger, Bobby and Shang-Chi said their farewells. I'll show you some sweet sights, that's if you don't get motion sickness from swinging on web. I will. Naruto nodded. You better come and visit us anytime. Janet grinned, please don't be a stranger. Yee. He squeaked out as Janet pecks his cheek. If you get a little older next time, maybe you'll get something more than that. The petite teenager winked at him and Naruto don't know why his face turned red as everyone laughed at the sight. I hope you'll keep some lesson to your heart. Captain America chuckled as soon as the boy calmed down. Yes, sir. Naruto nodded before Flash appeared at his side in a flash. Hey, guys. Flash waved at the group before he looks at Naruto. Ready to go home? Naruto give the Avengers teams a wave before he look up to the speedster. Yeah, I am. The speedster gives them a quick bye before he flashed them away. When Naruto get back, he noticed there was something off about Young Justice after he did a quick catch up with Few. They seemed to be shaken up about something and he wondered where did his brother go. Right now he was unpacking few things in his room before he hears his door opening and he look up to see Megan. Hey, I heard you're home now. Megan smiled at him. Yeah, I got back just now. Naruto replied before he tilts his head at her. Are you okay? They said you were in therapy. Oh, yes, I am. Megan flinched. It's just that the simulation went bad. What happened? He asked curiously. I mean, no one tell me about it. I can't. The Martian muttered. You're better off not knowing about that. Please don't ask about it again. But Naruto was about to say something but Megan hugged him. Naruto, I care about you because you're my little brother. She nuzzled her face into his hair. Even some see you as our little brother, you know that, right? Yes, but how is that The boy attempt to say something but Megan just tightened her hug. Jay, just drop it for now. Megan whispered please. Okay. Naruto was so confusing by her behavior. He will never know that the young Justice just watched him died in simulation and that was the reason why everything went wrong because Megan believed it was real. It was her fault and no one wanted to tell him the truth. A woman swing her legs around with a cheerily hum as she sit on her cot until she notice a familiar face, escorting into a cell across her and she knock on the glass with a wide grin. Hiya. Where have you been? I found him. Who? She tilted her head. Our son. The woman widened her eyes, the grin vanished right away. Where? I don't know, but he's with a little bird and his new team. A pair of green eyes gazed at the woman. We'll find him in time. We better, she whispered, all favors, strings and blackmails we used. Don't worry, we will. Naruto will come home and he will be in our arms for the first time. And guys, this is the end. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Peace.